Hey, what is up, everybody? It's Mike, Rob,
Hi, everyone.
and we're back. So, phase two, or I should say, episode two. We return. Yeah. So, um, as you can see, I think we got this camera down a little bit better this time. Wanted to thank everybody for kind of like we had a really good, overwhelming response, Rob. I think, right?
I
Better than
was,
what I had thought.
yeah, I was happy when you sent me that text with all the views that it got. Not that I even know how they, how they can tell who viewed it, but it was great just to see that many people watched,
We
if
don't
they
even have a
watched.
name of this thing yet, right? And we're just two dudes like having a good time, having a conversation, having a good time, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it as much as we are here. But again, yeah, just a great first episode here and a lot of views on here. Over 3,000 views I saw like just on Facebook, and like I said, we haven't even launched the channel yet, Rob. We didn't even name this thing, so
No, you don't have no name yet.
right, we're going to get there though. I promise you, we're working on it,
We
and some
will.
of the things to come. I know that like my mic, so now I know to bring the boom down, and we're not going to be looking in opposite directions here. We kind of are. So I think we're getting like a good handle on some of the tech issues.
Yeah, I did when I didn't want to watch it, but then I did watch it to see what I could do better. But you're like a natural at this, literally, like so good at it. Like I'm just a bump on the other side of the chair, and like you're going to be hosting like a game show in the future, or like Ryan Seacrest New Year's Eve.
I have the voice for a television, not the face. Like I
That'd be
said,
great, but
yeah. But thank you, Rob. And you know what? I think like you and I, honestly, we're a good balance. And we always have. Like you're
right,
kind of you pick up on like little things, like the high pitch of stuff. And that's what I love what you bring to the table here. You'll pick
yeah.
up on a little nuance here and something that I didn't even think of, and then you kill me with it
Oh, I
because I'm
appreciate the compliment. Thank you.
yeah. So, yeah, guys, we're going to build this thing here, and just kind of hopefully kind of get a little bit better structure to it and build this thing out. I think we got some exciting things planned out. We'll kind of save that, I think, for like later at the end of the show, and we'll kind of talk
Right,
about like
share it then.
what's
Yeah.
on deck here, to come. So, yeah. So, like, I think it's kind of a slow week, Rob. I don't think it's not like we had another fight or anything like that. Anything kind of crazy in the news. Um,
No,
I think if anything, it's kind of getting like here in front of us, right? Like what's kind of on the horizon here. We got a short week, right?
looking towards Thanksgiving on Thursday. How about your plans for that?
You know
What
what
do you
I
guys do?
so you know what I don't host. I host Christmas. And so Christmas is my holiday at my house and always has been since I lived there. My we divide and conquer. I've never been a big Thanksgiving Eve type party guy. Like, and not that I
Yeah,
don't like to party. Lord knows I do like to have a good time. I just usually would either
was more night.
not that it wasn't my night. I just when I was younger, I used to work in a nightclub down at Maui on Delaware Avenue, and like that was a big night to be working. And then after I kind of graduated, I had a job, and I was like, I just got tired of kind of doing. I did a couple of them, not to say like did a couple Squire things like that, but I kind of like it, like kind of amateur night, right? Like almost like I'd rather do something else. You know what I mean?
Right. All of us like a New Year's Eve,
Right? Exactly, man. Yeah.
better New Year's Day. But yeah,
Well,
we would go out, but it wasn't like I'd rather be home ready for the next day instead of New Year's or the night before. So
yeah. Now, how about like, was there like a big football game, right? So Ryan football, right? So like,
Ryan,
I mean,
Washington.
my Washington game was big, I mean, or
We didn't even
Judge
go to
Lincoln.
that though. Me and my
Yeah,
friends. Yeah.
yeah. We,
But a lot of people did, and they would get hammered the morning of and then miss Thanksgiving dinner. But, you know,
head over to O'Mare's, which I mean was like the big spot, right? I think I might have made it there, or Sweeney's, one of the two.
right.
Which O'Mare's is closed now. Which a lot of other bars are closing. I think that was another thing I saw here. We had what was it? The two bars closed, like the Dockside and
Mixed roast beef.
right, Nick's Roast Beef. I think before that we had the Red Rooster.
Right. That
We had
close
a lot
too.
of local like iconic places kind of closing here, and you would kind of expect that maybe back in like the pandemic. And it's just, I mean,
Right.
I'm wondering like what's happening with these bars closing, man.
I don't know.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be like my dream to own my own bar one day. I think everybody probably dreamed of it. Like
Like
you grow up
Sam
watching
Malone?
Cheers. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, you grow up watching Cheers, man. You
Right.
know what I mean? You just want to and I worked in it, and I used to like, oh man, I loved it. It was
It
fun.
seems like such a messy business, though.
I guess it can be.
You'd be out all night, every night at a bar. Is that working?
Probably not good if you're married and
Right.
you have young children. It's probably not optimal for
Yeah.
like a sustaining relationship.
And you just go to your bar and not have a drink? What do you do? Just
Oh,
walk around?
I know, right? Like, I don't know. I guess you
Yeah.
kind of have to. Like, if you can't be getting shit faced in
Right.
the middle of a shift, and then like everybody's like, all right, well the owner's getting shit faced. So let me
Me
have
too.
a drink too. Let the party begin, right?
Yeah.
But these are iconic places. Like, I know Omer's is closed, right? We said that recently closed.
Right.
Um, like we said, Nick's Roast Beef. It's been, I mean, that place has been around for a little bit.
This
So I'm just
Rial's, when we went in there, it was packed on a Wednesday night. The whole
jamming there,
thing. Yeah.
jamming there at Real's, and
They must be doing well then.
I know it's like I like these like neighborhood bars. Like, I mean that's kind of what they kind of have a lot more character to them.
Right.
Um, I'm wondering like why they can't sustain. It's not like in like the pandemic in 2020 where obviously I get it. People weren't allowed in these places. You know what I
Right.
mean? Um, so like I'm wondering like we kind of went through that. Here we are 4 years later. You know, um, we kind of we gotten through the toughest part I think of that
Right.
business.
Right.
Like what's going on here? If anybody knows, like please let me know. Why are these like all these local Philly institutions going out of business? It's crazy.
Come
It's
over
crazy.
now and tell us, please.
Yeah, stop on over here. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, obviously less places to go. I mean, honestly, like I think I'm looking to probably like maybe hopefully catch a movie over the Thanksgiving break.
Right.
Yeah. I
So,
mean,
so Thanksgiving, we get to go to my sister's house, and then with my wife, Carol, and the three boys, and then with my sister, her boyfriend, and then her kids, his kids, and then his family comes too. So it's a nice crowd over there, and it's fun.
yeah,
It's always fun to
yeah,
be with everyone. My
absolutely.
brother's out in like Texas, so we always FaceTime with them, and my nieces. We're all scattered a little bit, but it's fun
Yeah,
just to, you know, it's family. It's the best.
right. Yeah, I feel like me and Tina, we try to like balance it out. So we run around a lot. Try to do like my brother who has it, and then my family is all there. And then meanwhile, Tina's brother has it, and we try and run there. So we try and either go one or the other, so we can kind of spread the love.
Right,
You know what I mean? And that's always how it's been, I think, for the last like 20 years, how
right.
we've been doing it. And
It's a good plan.
I wouldn't say a good plan. It's a plan. I want to run. I mean, it's good in the sense that I get to see everybody,
Right.
but it's just a lot of running. And like, if you're
I
going there,
know.
like, I feel like I can't truly just enjoy myself at one event. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, if I just hunker down,
That's
throw some
true.
back, and then,
That's
um,
that kind of does stink that you got to jump
right,
around.
I want to have a couple cocktails, Rob. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
And then enjoy myself. Um, but I think I'll find a way this time.
I think you'll figure it out.
I will, man. Yeah,
You're pretty creative, and you
I
can
will. I'll
figure
try.
all these things out.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Like I was saying, I mean, I think I'm going to try and catch a movie, but like it just seems like there's just no freaking movies out anymore. Like if anything, like it's
Right,
just like either a superhero movie, like a Marvel movie, like and my kids are grown now and they've kind of run their course and even like they're kind of stretching and reaching the bottom here of like trying to rehatch old characters and like Michael Keaton into the Flash as Batman and bringing back Wolverine there just to try and kind of keep the momentum going on him and I feel like I'm kind of I don't
that's
want
what
to
I
go
think.
see any of these
There's
anymore.
just too many of them.
Right.
Like I don't even know who they are. Some of these, but I did watch The Penguin. Did you watch that on HBO Max?
I tried to.
Colin Farrell.
I tried to like Colin Farrell. I tried to watch it a little bit. It was a little slow for me, and I think I kind of bailed
Yeah.
after the first episode.
Right.
I mean, I probably should go back to it, give it another chance. But does it heat up a little bit? Does it get better?
It gets better, but I'm used to like the old school Batman, like the TV show Batman,
Yeah.
and they've turned this Penguin into like Tony Soprano now,
Right.
and he's like a gangster selling drugs. Like I don't like that Penguin like that.
Nah.
We used to buy Penguin.
Yeah, there's got to be like something diabolical about him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
not that he's just trying to be a criminal empire, but he almost like kind of wants to like almost like insanity to him a little bit, right?
right, right.
So I
It,
mean, I
it
get
was
it.
decent. I watched the whole thing, but I
Yeah,
thought it could have been better.
right. I mean, it really like if you look at what's out in the movies, it seems like it's two movies right now. You
Right.
got Wicked, um, which obviously was a Broadway play, and now they made it into a movie. And then you got like Gladiator 2, which I mean, you kind of Gladiator 1, which is just a total fucking classic. I
That's a
could
great
watch
movie.
that anytime if it's on. Um, are they going to try? I mean, as much as I do want to see it, and it's it's got some good actors in it.
Denzel is in it.
Yeah,
I guess he's the emperor.
yeah, and then they got to do Pedro from this is the Mandalorian
The
and Game of
Mandalorian.
Thrones.
Okay.
And he's really good.
Oh, this probably is good. I'll have to
I
see
mean,
that.
check it out. I mean, I heard just from around the campfire that Wicket is like kind of a very almost a 3 hour movie.
That's long.
Oh no, that's a big commitment, man. You better be holding my interest for 3 hours there, man. You better draw me into this story.
So Wicked is the story of what? The Wicked West, Wicked Witch of the West, or
I think it is. I think it's the of the two witches, like
is this
kind of
like a
like a prequel,
backstory? Okay.
yeah, of
So no
that.
midgets in this?
No, I don't. I won't. Who knows? I didn't see it yet. Maybe
Are we allowed to say
might.
midgets?
You know what? I don't think it's probably PC, but it's funny you say that. Like, I mean, my wife went to St. Basil's Academy, and she was class of '95, and their mascot was the Mighty Midget. Like, they were the midgets.
The
So, I mean,
mighty midgets?
Mighty Midgets. That's what St. Basil back then. I don't know what they had changed it to, but they were the Mighty Midgets.
What is it now?
You know what? Though it closed, so they don't have. So they're done. Maybe that's why they closed. They weren't PC. They're not too PC here. So
You
you,
pissed off
you
all the midgets and they
that's
shut them
it.
down.
They boycotted it. Yeah. So I mean, it's funny is like there is one movie. I've been going back and I want to watch like some movies like from maybe that were like back in like the 2000s, 2010s,
Right.
movies that maybe I just didn't watch. So I got like one movie I didn't see yet. It was like Dark Tower or Birdman, American Hustle. I just watched that for the first time, which was really good.
Who was in that?
That
Christian
was
Bale?
Christian Bale and what's his name? Bradley Cooper
I did
and
watch
Amy
some of
Adams.
that. I didn't watch the whole thing yet,
I
but
watched it. It was pretty good. I
looked
liked it.
good.
I mean,
Right.
listen, for the lack of quality that's out right now, I did like it. But there's another movie that I just saw. Like we're kind of talking about little people, midgets here, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a movie with Matthew McConaughey called Tiptoes, right? And it's about
Never
Matthew
heard of
McConaughey. Yeah, I never heard of it either. It's like 20 years old,
it. Okay.
right? And Matthew McConaughey, you know, good actor. I think he's got, I love him in,
Days and
Days and Confused.
yeah.
All right, all right, all right. Interstellar, right? He was great. I was watching that the other day. Um, so like I saw this trailer and it was like, it's crazy. He's in a family. They're all little people, right? And he's the only normal size one. And he meets a girl and like, um,
The whole family's his family's
his
midgets?
family is all midgets, yeah. And like he meets this girl and like he's kind of I don't know if he's hiding it or not. I didn't see the movie yet. I'm going to watch it, but then like he's worried because if they get together and they have a relationship, then will this continue? Like this
Little
gene get
children.
passed on?
All right.
And meanwhile, like Gary Oldman's in it, and he's a little person. He's Gary Oldman who is not a midget, who is like a normal person. Like I looked down, I'm like, hold on, that's Gary Oldman. So like I gotta watch this movie just for the sheer
This this
shock and all of it.
this sounds like they like lost a bet or something and they were forced to do this movie.
Maybe this if they did this, then they get the passion project that they want. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like a really off the wall type movie. You
I
know what I
love
mean?
midget movies. Well, small people
I
movies.
mean, I wanna check it out just because I'm like this movie you probably want to get made today, right? I
Hmm.
don't think so. I don't think so. So um, you know, so I'm gonna go check it out. Tiptoes, Matthew McConaughey,
Tiptoes. I'll
yeah,
watch it. I'll
yeah,
try and watch it.
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, other than that, this weekend, man, I just was kind of helping my parents out, right? Technical stuff, like I know like obviously from our podcast here, I'm not the most technical savvy person.
Right.
I'm not definitely not Bill Gates, but I
We're
am like
learning on the fly, I would say.
that's it, man. We're getting there, Rob.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly I am like the IT support for like my parents. You know what I mean? Like Tina's parents, my mom, and stuff like that.
Best job in the world.
It's I dread like I heard them this weekend saying that they wanted to get new phones, and my heart sank into my stomach because I know that's gonna fall on me
Why you?
because I'm the tech guy. I'm the tech guy of the family, man. So that's gonna. I almost want to pass that buck off to like the grandkids now.
Yeah.
Like they should, they're in college
Get them
now.
involved.
They should probably be a little bit more higher along in this tech, evolution than me.
So what, you had to teach them how to use a new phone?
Not so much that. I think it's going to be like uploading and setting up their passwords and
Uh,
downloading and pulling their pictures over,
like
making
getting their
sure
email on there?
getting their email set up on there,
Oh,
and their Facebook and
oh,
all that
jeez.
kind of stuff, right? Which, mind you, like here's the thing too. Like my mom, who and I love you, mom. You know that girl, but you should sometimes not have technology. You know what I mean? She's infamous for like a flub all the time. Like there was one flub that she had, mom, Veterans Day, right? So Veterans Day, right? Both my grandparents, her dad and my dad's dad, were served in the Army and Navy. So my mom's proud of that, and I love her for that because she
Of
is,
course.
as am I, right? Being hoorah.
I don't say.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you be proud of it? But so my mom put up a post the other day, but she struggles in there, and like as she's posting a picture, um, she had posted a picture of my grandfather, and then also one of my brother's dog
In
in
the
her
pics?
post that she had here. And mom, as much as I love you, but and I saw this on here. I'm like, what is she doing? You know. So I immediately so there's a picture of my grandfather, both in her army uniform and navy uniform,
Oh
and
my
even I have
God.
a cousin that's a it's like my second cousin. What do you mean? Yeah, he's my mom's cousin, but he's a jet fighter pilot for the Air Force, or I'm sorry, Navy. And then there's Ralphie, my brother's Rottweiler, in the mix there, picture, and he's wearing like a Christmas tie. Um,
She
and
should probably stay off, try to do
she
that.
definitely should, because and then I saw this, and it's just my mom in typical mom fashion. Um, I didn't even say anything to her. I just sent a picture to my brother, and I said, John, I want to tell you thank you. I didn't know Ralphie was a service dog, but thank Ralphie for his service to our country.
Meanwhile, Ralphie's sleeping on the couch.
Ralphie's looking at himself in places. You guys, right.
I know we had a technology today. We did something for Jack's school for Thanksgiving. We did a basket of food and like all the fixins for Thanksgiving dinner. So at school, they give you a turkey and a pie, and you go deliver it to a house in the neighborhood. Um,
Nice, man. Doing
we
some good deed here around this
right,
time, right?
right.
It's to give back a little bit. I
Yeah, so
love
it
it.
was good. So it was good. So it was mass before that. So Carol's mom came with us. So then we bring her back to our house, and then she's talking about her thermostat, her new digital thermostat. I said that's the best ones to have because you can just. She had the old dial still, and she likes that. I'm saying you can't even tell when you turn it if it's on the right number it's pointing at. It needs a little click. I'm like, but then she tells me the temperature's not right. It says 74, but it's not 74 in here. So I don't know how to explain to her that like it's probably 74.
More accurate, at least right in this spot where the thermostat is. It's 74. It might not be upstairs in your bed. I mean, it could be a
Right.
little bit, but right here where the thermostat is, right?
He tells me it's not properly calibrated. I said, I don't know how you know that. I don't know what to explain to you to fix it.
She want you to calibrate
I
it. Are you the thermostat calibrator?
can't come back. I'm going to bring you over. You
No.
do it. You got a whole more set of clients. You can certainly have her.
Uh,
No,
Uh,
we love her. We would never
of
do
course
this.
we do, right? I mean, we wouldn't do this shit for them if we didn't love them. We do it for them, but
Right.
it's a labor of love, no doubt
Yes.
about it. I'm not just doing it because I really am excited about doing it, and I love my
Uh,
parent, my Tina's parents, my parents. Like, listen, I will do anything for them. They would do it for me, but it's just like sometimes you look at that. There's some
just setting that cell phone, that's not like 5 minutes. 5 minutes, you're adding the apps, you're logging them in, you're trying to get their username and password that they don't know what it is. So you got to do forget my password and get them back into, life.
been here and I've done it, Rob. Now, so I've given them a book, and I write down all their passwords down
Oh,
in there. So
good,
now I'm learning from my past mistakes. Right now, they all have like their own book that I'm like, here, keep this by the computer.
good,
You know what I mean?
good,
So I write everything down for them because again, I've been here, I've done that,
good
and
move.
I'm trying to get a little bit better at that. Um,
I even have to do that at work. I have a little paper that has all my passwords on it for like work
There's
systems, but
too many of them. Remember, man?
right.
Right? Yeah,
Luckily, the phone, saves them.
I know.
I would never.
Or even the computer now, right? Even before we trying to get in log here, I forgot the password to the um, the podcast software here. So, but we're back in. Here we go. Tech man to the rescue. You know.
Here you
Hmm.
are. We'll get you like
All
a
right.
sweatshirt.
I know, right? The tech man was here. Yeah, I'll get glasses like the Geek Squad. You know.
Yeah, the Best
Uh,
Buy guys.
yeah. One of a buddy of mine, we were out to dinner a couple of weeks ago. He told me like, and his same similar situation, right? And his mom, and again, she's older, sometimes can't see the phone that well,
Right.
and like saw a post of like his friend and his wife who was wearing a baseball cap because they were out in the rain or at an Eagles game or whatever,
The
and then
wife?
the wife was wearing a baseball cap and
Okay.
he was wearing a baseball cap in the picture, and I guess they were at a game together, and then the mom wrote two handsome dudes. I fucking lost it. I mean, like, talk about like now this guy's got to call his mom and be like, Mom, you just called the guy's wife a dude. Take the fucking post down, right? So like, and
Why
but
did she even do that? Did she
she
think
couldn't see. She
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 did
saw
think
like
it was
she
guys?
she thought it was two guys, right? She did. Like her again, she's older. Her eyes aren't quite as what they used to be looking at the phone, and she knew that it was the one guy, and she thought it was another dude, or thought it was somebody else. But it was the guy's wife who just was kind of dressed down with a hat. Like that
Oh my
poor
God.
girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. That's
she
a
never wearing a hat again. Never
no.
wearing a hat again.
Oh,
Um,
and what would go through her head, like seeing the comment and then her thinking, look at all these people reading it. That's me on there.
I know.
That poor
I've had
girl.
to do that with my mom a couple times. Like she would take a post and like, again, like I think their generation, they're not used to kind of the computer. My mom doesn't even write; she speaks. Oh, every text that she doesn't type, it's all speak. It's all voice to text,
Right.
and like sometimes things get lost and they come across differently.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I
Yes.
I got to coach her all the time. I got to coach my mom in some basic
Texting
stuff.
is like its own language because most of the things you say, you mean something else, then people just infer different things and you're completely talking about something completely different.
Yeah, and that's it. I try and coach her, but she did get mad at me last time. That's why I didn't call her about Ralphie's post there. I didn't, but I did send it to my brother, and we were dying. But then she called me. She's like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" I'm like, "Mom, you get mad at me when I tell you this, right?
Oh, man.
So I'm not going to tell you anymore." And I was like, "It's probably funnier just to leave the damn dog up on a
Right.
Veterans Day post anyway, you know?"
Yeah. It
Yeah.
wasn't on purpose. Yeah. She made a mistake.
No. Yeah.
Let her slide.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, as we kind of get into like, and I know we were talking about last week, like kind of, back, like, I was a paper boy. Now that like papers are non-existent, we're kind of on the topic of technology, right? You know what I mean? And it's kind of just, the Internet of Things is just kind of obsoleting so many different things, or it's evolving. And, one of the things like from last time, a couple people had said like, yo, like an institution that's no longer around is like Playboy, right?
Right.
Total like institution back in its day, right? So you had the Hugh Hefner, who was an icon, right? Total icon.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The Playboy Mansion, right?
He was known for just being in a robe. That was
And
like his outfit. And the
pipe.
pipe. Yeah.
Too many people smoke pipes, and you could pull it off. You know what I mean? And a
Maybe.
smoking jacket.
Yeah, that was it. You know?
But not even if you go back and you think about it, like, because we grew up in kind of like the 80s and 90s, and like there were always parties going on at the Playboy Mansion, and there was always celebrities there. Like it was cool
Right.
to go to a Playboy Mansion party. If you were like a celebrity like Tom Cruise or whomever it was,
Right.
like to go to a Playboy
Yeah.
party there.
Place to be.
It was, right? And like if even back before our time, they had like a casino, right? In
Hmm.
Atlantic City, I think they had one too, or they had the clubs, they had a clothing line. Um, they had, again, like I think it was such an iconic brand that is almost like non-existent now,
Right.
right?
Completely.
It's
Yeah.
completely gone, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Practically.
yeah. I mean, and again, like so, it's funny is like I can remember the first time that I saw my first adult magazine, right?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
How
Um,
old were you?
Probably about first grade. Yeah,
First?
probably about first grade. I stumbled
Whose was
upon
this? Your dad's?
my old man's. I've now he wasn't more of a playboy guy. He was more of a hustler guy, which so Playboy had its own kind of level. But
Oh my God.
like I found a hustler, right? And when I found this hustler magazine, I was like, I'm curious. I mean, I never saw this stuff before, and
Well, it's a naked woman right on the front, isn't it?
you know what? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but I mean, and again, they say you never forget your first, right? So as an as a kid in first grade who just found like a holy grail to him, like curious, like what is this? Like and you knew you shouldn't have been looking at it, right?
Oh
But
my
of course,
God.
I'm like, I'm going to look at it. I'm like, I got the thing out.
I'm not surprised you did look at it. That's a
uh,
compliment.
so no, no, of course, and thank you, Rob. I appreciate that.
So get
so
into it. Get into the story now.
so I get the Playboy or I'm sorry, the Hustler, not the Playboy, the Hustler, and I know, and I'm looking at it, and I'm kind of going through it, and I come across like one of the pictorial sections, and it's a woman with a very well placed cigarette, Rob, and it's frame by frame by frame of her smoking the cigarette in a very unique way, right? That I didn't even know that was humanly possible in first grade, right? Like I thought you smoked a cigarette like that. I did not know that you could put cigarettes in these places, right? So I'll never forget that. Like I'm like, oh man, they smoke like that because my brain just couldn't wrap it around. Like, so I close up. So then like I remember like my cousin, my brother. I'm like,
Oh
yeah,
my God, you shared
who
it?
are younger than me because I now got the goods, and I'm like, yo, come here. I go in, I pull
But
it
where do
out,
you go and show this in the bed in your room?
and you know
Or you
what? I
go
think
outside?
I gotta bring it. I sneak it out. I think I bring it into my room, and then I'm showing
Where was
them.
the hiding spot?
Oh, it was in my dad's room. So I had to sneak this thing out stealth like,
Uh,
right?
uh,
Because again, because I'm not really supposed to be in my mom and dad's room. I'm around there,
correct.
and obviously dad for good reason. I'm shouldn't be in the room.
That's why I left it in my room so he
I tell you,
couldn't
don't go
find
in
it.
my room. What the hell you doing in here? And so then my cousin, my brother, I remember kind of going, and I show him the magazine, and we're going through it. Obviously, showing them how people smoke cigarettes in Hustler, which is
Life lesson.
a very, very. And then like my mom catches me,
You
like
got
she
caught?
came in, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing up here?" And like I literally got caught red-handed with the Hustler.
Imagine that to catching your kids. They got to hustle. I don't know what I would do.
I was just
That
talking.
young, that little.
I was just talking to mom about that. Like, and I think what she got really mad at me for, not so much that I probably was, but like that I incorporated like my younger brother and my
Right.
cousin. Like, come on, guys,
Yeah.
look what I got
Bringing
here.
everybody down.
But yeah, she should have been. Yeah, you should have been going to Mr. Browning, not me. But no, I'll never forget. Like I said this. I said, I got. I got an ass whooping. I got, my mom and dad were not opposed to corporal punishment, right? And
Right.
listen, mom, and I deserved many of those ass whoopings. I absolutely did. There's no doubt about it.
I'm sure he did.
I had no doubt I did, and this was one of them. You know what I mean? And
Right.
my mom whacked my ass. You know, again, like over the knee, like Rob, like that. You would like smacking my ass red, and
Oh
I.
man.
But the next fucking day, I was snooping around again. I'm fucking looking for a wrestler. I was hooked. I was hooked. I was looking all over for positions. I was like, you know what? It could be worth an ass whooping. I'm going in. I'm going to fucking find another one. You know what I mean?
Same one, or you wanted another one?
I don't care. I just wanted something else. Going to withdrawal. I wanted a fucking see like that was like it was a game changer for me as a kid. You know what I mean? But yeah,
That's funny.
it's funny. It's like I do remember one time, another time I did come across one, and this was a Playboy though, mind you, and I think it had celebrity on it at this time. I think it was Latoya Jackson.
Uh,
So, and I remember I was like kind of like laying underneath like on the floor, and then I put my hands underneath my dad's recliner, and I'm like, "What is this?" And
nah.
I look around, and make sure nobody's there. Once nobody's there, I pull it out. I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I put it back in.
Uh,
So now leave it there until the coast is clear, and it's like Latoya Jameson on the fucking motorcycle like this, which is a little bit more classier. You know what I mean?
yeah, Playboy was always
Playboy
classy.
was high. It definitely was higher end, than Hustler, right? Because what was Hustler? Hustler was Larry Flint, right?
Right.
Yeah, who, I just see. I mean, I enjoyed the People versus Larry Flint, but he just was like, just didn't care. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
he was all about his First Amendment rights. He's gonna say whatever the hell he wants to say. You
Right.
know.
Right.
So, yeah, that's like I said. You never forget your first, and that was my first. I'll never forget it.
Maybe we can
Yeah.
steer away from the nudie magazines for a little while.
Uh, yeah. Well, you can't even subscribe to them now anyway, right? Is there any? I mean, I don't even know.
But
Not that I would subscribe to a nudie magazine now, but I mean, there isn't any. I don't think there is,
I
right?
don't think people would just because the phone and the computer, why pay for somebody to mailman to come deliver a magazine, you know?
Well, there's a very a good point, Rob. Right? So our kids right now, right, had iPhones. How old were your kids when they first got an iPhone?
Uh, a little watching
Yep. The
the
ambulance go by
stars.
here.
Uh, I guess we got Ben a cell phone. It was like, might have been like third or maybe like fourth or fifth grade, right around there.
Right. So probably like 11, maybe 12.
Yeah, I think that's what
Mm.
it was. And when we gave it to him, he wanted a phone, and we wrapped it up in a like a game box, like a board game box. And he did the wrapping, and he opened it up, and he was like about to start crying. We were like, open the box, and the phone was inside. And then he started crying because he couldn't even hold it anymore. Yeah, that's what I think about. That was mean.
You know what? That's good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I hopefully record that shit. You
I don't
got it.
even.
No, maybe not.
I wish. I don't know. Maybe Carol. I
Yeah,
doubt it.
maybe she did. That would have been a good moment to get.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is my point is really just like if you think about it, like again, I think like we get kids these cell phones, these devices here, and you can probably try and put all these preventative measures in here, but
Right.
they have access to stuff well beyond Hustler magazine, what I mean? Beyond
Yeah.
a well-placed cigarette stuff, you know what I mean? So
Right.
like so my question is this, are these kids getting exposed to a lot of really crazy stuff this today at a young age because now kids are younger and younger and they're getting these cell phones, right?
Right.
And really, like you said, like all this pornography has now kind of moved into, the phone onto the digital era. Like now, do these kids have access to that?
Right. Especially you hope your kids don't go onto it, but then there's that one nutty kid in the neighborhood who's just like, look at all this, look at all this.
Yeah. I was showing my brother and my cousin.
You were him. You are him.
I came across it. I mean, I
Right.
found it.
But that was harder for you to find that.
Yeah,
This kid's
right.
got the phone with it already on
This
it.
guy's looking it up. I mean, there's almost got. I mean, and people have older brothers and stuff like that, and I'm sure that
Right.
again, they know through kind of that osmosis like stuff here, and I'm sure even you can have all the high end security on here. There's always a backdoor to something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I mean, you think about it, I'm like, well, maybe that's why everything's kind of going to like this dark web type stuff,
Yeah.
and that's why this mainstream stuff's going. Because even like in the 2000s, like I feel like Playboy kind of died down in the 80s and 90s, and everything went like the Maximum and stuff, which
Right.
was more like it wasn't. Um, like nudity. It was more like kind of like bikinis and
Okay.
more of like a pictorial with some good like content in there and
Yeah,
stuff
good
like that.
articles. They had a lot of good stuff in there.
I loved it. I did love it. They talked about like like a thing like as a probably a kid in his 20s at that point. They talked about like cool colleges, who was the number one party school in the country,
Right.
and you know what I mean, things
Yes.
like that. That was like really interesting. Or so yeah,
Yeah,
it's
articles you wanted to read, stuff that was like you liked. It was a full magazine of it. It was good, that Maxim. I liked it.
yeah. Yeah, Maxim was good, but I don't even think they. I mean, I went to CVS today, and I was going to get, and they usually always had the magazine rack right there. And
Nothing?
I looked over and nothing. I didn't see anything. You know what I mean? I saw some Danielle Steele novels, like they were still there. You know what I mean? They definitely had them. Um, Fabio was on the cover,
Right.
probably still, but I mean, no magazines. I didn't really see any. Not even like crossword puzzles or anything. Or maybe they just moved around, but I literally have been going to CVS and that's where it's always been. And it looks like it was like poof, gone.
Really?
It was
Gone.
there for like 20 years. I've been going to the same CVS for 20 years, and it looks like all the magazines are pretty much gone. So,
Yeah, it's like similar to that. Me and Jack went to the mall today and like just, malls are going away, So we get to the mall and we get to the front. We come in the one entrance and I'm looking for the map. The map's not there. Like the map thing
yeah,
that
like the
tell you all the
kiosk in your, okay,
stores.
where we
Yeah,
go?
there's the number at. That's
Yeah.
gone. So we're just walking the mall looking for the store because there was no map. I was pissed.
Yeah. How was them? Which mall did you go to?
Oxford Valley.
Dead?
No, surprisingly, there were a lot of people in there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but a lot of empty stores, like stores
Yeah.
not there.
I went to the Willow Grove probably about a month ago when it was on
I
a
like the
Saturday
Willow
night.
Grove.
But you know what? It like closed at like 8 o'clock on a Saturday. Like
Really?
when I went there, I was like, it's like 7 o'clock or whatever. And I went there and I figured I'd had enough time, 7 o'clock on a Saturday night. But then before you know it,
Saturday? My
Saturday
God.
night, before you know it, I'm in there. It's like the mall will be closed. I'm like, I just got here. It's seven. You know what I mean?
Can you
Um,
keep it open an hour longer?
yeah. Did see that the Nishami Mall just now is officially done. Dunzo.
Is
They
it?
closed that up the other day. Yeah.
Somebody was saying somebody was buying and doing something with it. I don't know what. I
I
read an
heard
article.
different things. I think they're like condos and medical building. They're going to tear down some of it. They're going to leave, I think, like the movie theater. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
You know what I always want to remember? The totem pole that would be up
Right.
there on
Yeah.
like right on Route 1. I wonder if there's a sign, the Chamonix Mall. I wonder if that totem pole's under there. I love that thing. Like just to
Yeah.
see it coming up,
It
it's
was
like,
so cool. Yeah, it was
we're going
different.
to the mall.
You knew it, man. That was it. I mean,
Yeah,
it was a great hit and run mall, right? One level, man. And they
right.
had everything in there. They did. They had structure like in the 90s and, it
Yeah,
became Express and stuff, Models and, Foot Locker, Friendlies in there, everything.
right.
Everything.
The
Dude,
arcade, they always had the arcades. They were fun.
right. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, times they are changing, man. That's it. You know.
Of
So
course.
everybody's online. Everybody's online now. Yeah. But you know what, Rob? I think this was kind of a really good show, right? I mean, kind of again, our second one. I think the tech issues we kind of worked it out pretty good here.
We'll, I guess
We'll
we'll
see.
know after.
We'll see in the recording here.
Yeah.
So kind of what's up next, right? So here we are, like it's just two guys shooting shit, right?
Hmm.
One thing I was told is stop the f bomb. So I'm trying to dial it back. I got told today less fucks. You know what I mean? And on my way out the door, I was like, "What was that?" Less fucks. So I had less
Just
today.
because
Hopefully,
she said that, you repeated that's still saying it, yeah?
just I wanted to emphasize. But I mean, I think you and I we kind of have an idea and an outline of kind of like what we're going to kind of do in the future, right?
Right. Yeah. This is we want to start including some guests, I think that'll make it really really interesting to
Yeah,
watch.
interesting local people here to Philadelphia, Northeast, and
Hmm.
stuff like
Some
that.
good characters. They're
Definitely
the
some
best
character.
ones.
And I think we kind of got our hands on and talking to some early on here to kind of get it ready for like our evolution into that,
Right.
right? Um, so like one of the things that Rob and I are kind of doing right now. I mean, I'm not Rob. Are you a big book reader?
No. I
I'm
should
not
be,
either.
but I'm not.
I'm really not. I mean, so like, but there's this really interesting book that kind of has like a local feel. It's called Confessions of Second Story Man, um, the K&A gang, right? So Kensington and Allegheny. It's about a gang of burglars in from the 50s on to like the 80s,
Right.
and I'm about halfway through it right now. It's pretty interesting, and it really hits really close to home, in a lot of different ways here. And I think
Right.
we're gonna
Especially for you.
right, yeah. This is an area I grew up in, and there's some characters in here that are familiar, you know. And one of the characters in here is going to be someone that we're going to have on here, you know, very shortly. Kind of talk about, the K&A gang, talk about the book, talk about some of the experiences here and kind of the local tie-in. And so, listen, just to kind of keep it's a pretty easy read, Rob, right? So far, I mean, from what
Right.
I'm reading, I tried to get the audio book, they didn't have it.
The show of the dog ate half
Well,
of your
I'm,
book.
I'm putting I'm putting I'm putting my hand over here because my dog did eat half the book. I was reading it, and then she got it, and
Did those he's texting me for pages for the 20 through 35, so I'm taking pictures with my phone, texting them to him.
thanks, by the way, I
Oh
appreciate
yeah, no problem.
it. Yeah, but it's a pretty easy read, you know.
Yeah, it was. So far, so good.
Yeah, and I think interesting stories, and the fact that it
Right.
is like kind of right here. I honestly like. I mean, I'm surprised. It almost reminds you of something that like they would should make a movie of, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Um,
definitely.
would be a good movie. So, hopefully, again, in the near future, we're going to have some folks in here talk about that. And hopefully, you guys kind of continue to kind of tune in and watch us. And maybe we'll have a name soon. But until then,
Well, we'll work on the name between now and the next. But looking forward to the Eagles game tonight.
not the Birds. Let's go,
Yeah,
Birds.
nice Sunday
NFC,
night.
NFC East is looking pretty pitiful outside of, like, it's ours for the taking.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah. Go Birds.
should be a good game. I'll
Looking
probably
forward to
see
it.
the first half and then go to sleep.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what do you think? Wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up. Let's put a bow on it. All right. Hey, everybody, thanks for catching us out here, and we'll definitely catch up with you next week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy Thanksgiving,
everyone.
everybody. Yeah. Take care. Thanks again.
So long.